In American football, the head and neck are in a certain position, like when they spear, if you're tackling, that can lead to a significant neck injury. In rugby players, what are the types of neck injuries that you see?
Well, you get the same kind of problems. There's something called a scrum in rugby. If you've ever seen it, it's when there's been it's a contest for possession. Instead of a jump ball, like in basketball and rugby, one of the things you do sometimes you can do a scrum. And that's where 8 people line up in kind of a group fashion and ram into another group of 8 people. And there's 3 people in the front row, and that is where sometimes people get catastrophic neck injuries, spinal cord injuries. They're not very common, but they do happen. I mean, in the U.S., there have been 59 cases of that from 1970 to 1994. In South Africa, where rugby is one of their main sports, or not their main national sport, there were 119 cases from 1960 to 1989. In France, where rugby, people are surprised to find this out, but rugby is kind of big in France. French are actually very, very good at rugby. They had 37 cases from 1996 to 2006. In the U.S. and in the France example, more than half the time it happened in a scrum. In South Africa, 51% of the time it was in a tackle. It's a real area in the U.S. that people have to be very, very careful. The injury rate in the U.S. Involved more young people than grown men. 52% of the people with these traumatic spinal cord injuries were junior level players. In other nations, the junior level players only accounted for 30 to 40% of the injuries. We don't have, when people play rugby in this country, they usually come to it later in life. They don't start as grade schoolers or high schoolers. They often start in college, and so they're learning more by playing than they are by doing a lot of coaching training, and it's an area that is really possible to cause a lot of damage. There's 8 people lining up, smashing into each other, and maybe there's 2,000 pounds of weight pushing hard on a couple of people's necks, and so it's an area where you shouldn't learn by playing. You should learn by proper coaching.